Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, the Kickstarter that raised over $3 million, is finally here. 100 Heroes, being created by the same developers of the famed Suikoden series, has many JRPG fans extremely excited to get their hands on the game. Luckily for you guys though, I got an early copy so I can give you my first impressions on what you can expect diving into the game. 100 Heroes does an amazing job differentiating itself from other JRPGs, but like I said, that's a teaser. We're gonna get more into that a little bit later. And just also to get this out of the way, yes, there actually are 100 playable units for you to play. Actually, there's even more than 100, but in the light of full transparency, I was given early access to this game and a free copy. So shout out to 505 Games for providing this opportunity for me, but I have no restrictions on what I can or can't say in my review. But now that all the disclaimers are taken care of, let's begin with my initial thoughts of the game. The first thing you notice when you boot up the game is how vibrant 100 Heroes makes the 2D art style feel. Although many modern titles are looking for the most realistic 3D graphics, you can tell 100 Heroes intentionally chose the 2D art style and looked for every single way to elevate it to make it look as polished and pristine as possible. The gameplay has been tailor-made to what I like in a JRPG, because with 100 plus heroes, that allows you to pick characters for your party whose design, personality, or playstyle you like, rather than being forced to play with the main cast all the time. Everything so far has been voice acted, and each new hero introduced has their own unique personality.
Now get the hell out of my sight, maggots!
100 Heroes has a clear mission to bring back that old school JRPG feeling, but invests love and care to modernize that experience. These are my first impressions, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of what the game offers so that way you can formulate yours. Before we get into that though, I really would appreciate it if you help me get this video to 100 likes and subscribe to the channel so that way I can provide you more JRPG content like this. But let's get back into the video. 100 Heroes is a sequel to Eiyuden Chronicles Rising, but you don't need any prior knowledge to pick up 100 Heroes. Playing Eiyuden Chronicles Rising will, however, give you backstory into some of the heroes that will be recruitable within the game. Story-wise, the game starts out slow because it needs to catch you up by introducing you to the world and providing context for some of the conflict, with the actual plot picking up about 4 hours into the game. It's hard to give a spoilerless preview that doesn't sound boring without ruining your first 10 hours of gameplay, but here's my attempt at that. In a time of peace, the Galdian Empire discovers a new technology that amplifies the power of rune lenses, and these are going to be things that control your skills as well as magic within the verse. But this sets the enemy empire on a quest scouring the continent for an artifact to expand that power even further. I know it's vague, but you'll have to experience the rest for yourself. I estimate the game to be about a 60-hour playthrough. I'm about 8 hours into the game, and the story feels like it's just getting started, everything's set up for the conflict to begin. But depending on your gameplay style, you'll likely progress faster than me because you won't spend 2 hours running around the map trying to figure out where to recruit more of these acclaimed 100 heroes. I know, it's a skill issue, but this is a good segue into our next topic. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes has much to offer gameplay-wise in addition to its amazing JRPG mechanics, but we'll start there. You can expect everything you see in a traditional RPG, such as an attack order, SP, MP, etc. Parties are composed of 3 units in the front and 3 units in the rear. There's also one support who's not on the battlefield, but offers the party a passive ability, and then 3 attendant slots. I believe the attendant slots are for bringing party members who are required for story purposes, but give you the option to not include them in your playable party. The game does really offer 100 plus heroes, each with unique abilities, which almost guarantees that you can find a party of 6 that's gonna fit your aesthetic or playstyle that you like. As characters level up, they're gonna unlock rune slots, which will allow you to equip runes to utilize new abilities as well as increase that character's base stats. There's also an extremely customizable auto battle mode that allows you to tweak how the AI fights. This auto mode is an amazing quality of life feature, but not something you'll be able to use all the time. Most boss battles will have a unique gimmick that the AI will ignore or do incorrectly. You can tweak the AI settings to factor in the gimmick, but these gimmicks require you to strategize. For example, in an early boss battle, I'm supposed to hit this crane switch after the enemy does to make the boulder drop on them instead of my party. This requires you to understand the attack order, because if I use my unit that attacks before the boss does, when the boss attacks, it's going to hit the switch again, rotating the crane back for the boulder to fall on my party. I won't spoil any more gimmicks, but so far I've experienced about 3 fights with entirely different gimmicks, so that covers the JRPG aspect gameplay wise, but let's get into what makes 100 Heroes different. First and foremost, the game has 100 plus heroes you can recruit to join your organization. I know I keep harping on there's actually 100 heroes, but it's in the title. What do you expect me to do? But this actually plays into some of the actual features within the game, so it's essential for me to keep harping on. The game doesn't hold your hand though when it comes to finding these heroes, so chances are you're gonna miss some or find heroes that nobody else normally finds. These heroes are not just used for the JRPG aspect, the party elements of the game. They're also essential to other features that we're about to discuss. Although 100 Heroes is not a real-time strategy game, at a surface level, it pulls many things from that genre to elevate your JRPG experience. The War Battle game mode allows you to go head-to-head with other commanders throughout the story, and you're able to utilize the heroes that you've enlisted into your organization to fight within those head-to-head battles. There's also a town building system that puts the heroes to work that aren't being utilized within your party. Similar to an RTS, you have to manage the village resources and invest in nodes that will increase your town's efficiency, as well as provide more food, more things like, that you're going to harvest to build a solid ecosystem for your town. As you scale your roster of heroes though, you need to make sure that your town scales with it, so that way you don't run out of resources or not have enough food to provide for everyone within the village. Something that I really like about this town building element is that as you make improvements to your town, you're also going to start to see those additions visually. I'll reiterate though, these features don't go as deep as you would expect an RTS game to, but think of this as like the cherry on top to a well-polished JRPG. The last unique feature is that there's a 1v1 fight sequences built into the story. This caught me by surprise because for a 2D game, I didn't expect to see this quality level of battle animations used in what seemed to just be cutscene fights where some, pixel RPGs, they're just gonna make the icons shake. With Eiyuden 100 Heroes, it's actually showing fight sequences for some of these 1v1 battles that you can control. As I mentioned earlier, I'm about 8 hours into the game and still being introduced to new features, so there may be some that I missed, but if there are, I'll make sure to update those in the description down below. I know that there's a fishing mechanic within the game as well. I think there's like a Beyblade game mode as well. So those are things that I haven't unlocked yet, but they are within the game. Overall though, I've had a very enjoyable experience with Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna get a little bit nitpicky just to find 2 things that I don't like. The first point is pretty quick, but I wish that there were names on this map instead of requiring me to switch to another tab just to see a tinier version of the overall world map. I know that you can have them in both places, and I feel like that will be even more helpful, so that way I know which direction I'm going rather than having to swap back to this tab to see the tiny version and make sure that I'm going in the right direction. And then my final pain point is going to be at a certain point within the game, you're required to recruit more heroes, but visually they won't show you the threshold of how many you'll actually need to find. You just have to go out and explore and return once you've found enough. This caused me to be detoured for hours because in my current progression, there's no way to fast travel, and there's heroes that can be found on every crevice of the map. And I mean every crevice of the map. This could, however, be their intentions though, to make you explore the world, but that's likely something that's gonna be fixed with content creators making guides, pointing out on the map where you can unlock each hero, and so you're not gonna have to go into it blind like I did. Just to give a quick TLDR, Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is the JRPG enthusiast's wet dream, building on the 90s JRPG aesthetic. This game takes real-time strategy genre concepts at a surface level to add as a cherry on top to a breathtaking JRPG experience. The story takes a bit long to get going, but when it does, it goes. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is one of many JRPGs releasing in 2024, so if you're looking for more, I'll have a video listed here for you to check out. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.